What's up, Bibs? I am very disappointed. I am very disappointed. Amazing chapter. It was not the entire chapter I was disappointed in. There's a certain character that I feel like had more hype around it than maybe Oda even realized. I could be alone on this, but I doubt that I am. I really doubt that I am. But yeah, but we'll get into it. It was a very solid chapter, and it's taking a different direction than even I thought. So starting off, we're still on Grandma 66 with these chapter stories. It's actually the 27th volume of this. So we've been here for a minute. And it just shows Vegapunk, who's looking like an absolute gangster out there, like an actual pirate. Vinsmoke himself, Judge, is right there. I believe he's the one with like the fiery looking hair. Caesar could be the one with the bowl cut. I just don't think so. And I don't know if I recognize the other people. I could be wrong about that. If you do know who that is, let me know, but that's what it's looking like right now. But let's get into the chapter. So basically what we thought was going to happen happened. Luffy is like, dude, I'm sorry, I didn't expect for you to get hurt like that. And then there's something very interesting right off the bat. Sentomaru was like, I thought I blocked it, but he didn't. And I don't know if that's something to do with Lucci, and I think it is. I think Lucci might have mastered advanced advanced armament, which is what Sentomaru is doing with his blocking. It's kind of like Kings for people that don't have Kings. It's like the force field. We saw it from the three admirals when they stopped Whitebeard's Quake Fruit when he was trying to send it towards the scaffold to break it down. They also like lined it up and stopped it. So I think that's definitely something that the Marines are taught heavily, and I've been harping on this for a while, but they are definitely heavily taught hockey, all three. And if you specialize in one, then you're heavily developing that over and over to make the best warrior of yourself that you can be. Because a lot of pirates rely just on devil fruits, and that's kind of where the Marines get the upper hand. So even Lucci's impressed that he was able to take handgun, and he's like, all right, I'm going to take you out because I need to control these seraphims. And then Luffy goes in. Now, I absolutely loved. Gear 5 is becoming more and more lovable to me. Even to start, some people are like, it's too cartoony and goofy, but I like it. I actually like what they're doing. I think it's going to make for a very epic finale on a lot of these fights, and it's really cool. But he was hitting Lucci with some shit. And the part where he like eats stuff up and like spits it out, and all of that is like rubberized and like super fast, basically bullets coming at them, is awesome. More and more information from Vegapunk about like the fruits and stuff. I love how Frankie's super sad and he was able to actually realize, and he's like, wait a minute, that was fucking that's my boy Senior Pink. That's his fruit, the swim fruit. Is he dead? That's like my boy. I love that moment. I mean, if you don't love that moment, I don't know what you're doing with One Piece, but love that moment because they're just bros. And even Vegapunk's impressed. He's like, oh, so you noticed. I think the back and forth between those two, as long as we get it, I don't know if Vegapunk's going to live. I'm not sure yet. I think it could definitely go either way. But talking about how he's the inmate at Impel Down at the moment, I definitely think that everyone we see defeated just about it ends up in Impel Down. So that's where a lot of people that Luffy has defeated that we've seen, that their plans have been thwarted, where we're going to see them over time is going to be Impel Down. So then he talks and he really delves into what it means to recreate a devil fruit. Now, we've seen Smile before, and Smile's recreating, not very successfully, but recreating Zoan fruits. And he's like, you are able to synthesize and recreate it. We figured out one with Paramecia's, and that's what they were talking about with the lineage factor. From within somebody, if you're able to pull that out, then you can bring that back, and that's what's called green blood. Now, I also saw green blood in a different translation, but green blood is what it's called. That's what's in all the seraphims, which is definitely going to be their weakness. I think over time, at least getting rid of those fruits, they're still going to be freaks of nature. I believe they have regenerative capabilities. The only real weakness I see is their like power, like the amount of power they have. And it seems like that's going to be fixed when they become adults, because I think it was Stussy in this chapter was mentioning how, like, oh, and they're only kids right now. Like, when these people, like, fully grow up, it's going to be a problem. But we get a showcase of all these seraphims using their abilities, just absolutely kicking the shit out of CP0's troops, just on absolute full display. And they're saying, even Vegapunk is like, seraphims are showing everything amazing about science in terms of a battle weapon piece. Like, these things are freaks of nature. They are beings of amazing magnitude that can take over the world, that can destroy entire islands by themselves. Like, these dudes are absolutely wild and crazy. And I think everybody knows that. And that's kind of why the 5 elders are always in the know, and why they're at the top of the hierarchy when it comes to controlling them, which I think is going to be playing a big factor after Egghead. I think during Egghead, maybe not. It's a little tricky because of what Borsalino says at the end, but we'll get there. So Lucci is literally just trying to headhunt Sentomaru. He's not even really fighting Luffy anymore. I think he knows that he's outclassed, which he is. He is heavily outclassed, and I think that's shown. And that's how it should be. If Lucci was to come in at this point and be like on par, like giving Luffy a run for his money or making Luffy struggle, then it makes the whole Emperor debate look like weird, because then it's like, Kaido, what's wrong? But poor Sentomaru, I mean, that handgun took it all out of him. Like, that man is just struggling to exist, struggling to move around during this. So he munches up the ground, shoots it at him. He's able to break it, but then immediately he lines back up on a pole and hits him with the fucking WWE, and he fucking pops off the shades from his own head, because that's the fruit. He's able to create or do anything that he wants, which I think is going to get absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Like, this fruit, if you guys aren't seeing how stupid and broken it is, it's going to get ridiculously broken. I don't think we've really seen Luffy hurt in that form. I don't know if he can be hurt. I don't know, because Kaido was using Kings the whole time, and if his fruit's able to beat Kings, holy shit, that's insane, because then advanced armament has nothing on him. It doesn't matter. But booming white rocket literally sends his insides outside, literally, and I'm just like, oh my god, like, Luffy is just beating this poor man up. And I love Lucci, but he just gets destroyed, and he's like, I'm fading out of consciousness, I'm losing consciousness, as he slowly falls down. And then this part bugs the shit out of me, because I don't know why this happened. Luffy could have cleaned house, brought the Seraphims up to Vegapunk, and everything would have been hunky-dory. I mean, one more shot on Lucci, and he was kind of, out of commission. Zoans heal really fast, which we'll see later. But I mean, Kaku and Stussy are going to be a problem? I doubt it. I think Luffy could clown on them real quick and then move on. But I guess the big thing was escaping and getting Vegapunk and leaving the island. Which I'm not entirely sure why, when they can just kind of clean up shop and then do that. I mean, you're a Yonko crew now. Like, do we have to do that? Do we have to, like, run away like we're the weaker of the two? I don't understand why that is, but fair enough. I think Vegapunk's kind of just pressing on them that we are in a hurry. And I could be wrong later down the line, but I don't know why Luffy just didn't clean them up and then go. Because if he cleaned them up and then go, then there's not really much of a problem. Then the only problem is going to be the incoming admiral, which is a huge problem, but not too bad. So then Sentomaru finally is able to get to his feet, bleeding profusely, and is like, hey, just take care of Vegapunk. I got this. I'll take care of this. And I'm just like, brother, what? What do you mean? What do you mean? Do you remember him back in Sabaody? Do you remember him? Remember how he's an absolute problem? Of course, everybody was way weaker back then. Don't get me wrong. Everyone was way weaker, but we couldn't touch him. He was untouchable. He was the most defensive man in the world. The most defensive man in the world. And about 2 to 3 chapters prior, he was still the most defensive man in the world. That's what we were told. That's what he said, but that's what we were told. And then to watch him just get absolutely clowned in like no time flat, no screen time, no fighting time, none of it. It just lose. You just take an L, here's your L, and move on. So he moves on. Luffy looks hilarious when he loses Gear 5. I don't know if there's something with like the darkening of his skin. I don't know if that's going to play a part in any way, but I don't even know if that was just like a piece of it, but that is interesting. I don't know what that means or what's going to happen with that. But they're saying how the frontier dorm has been fortified, just barricade and get shelter. So I don't know if they're all going to try to hang out in there for like a period of time while they bring back Atlas and then leave. I'm not entirely sure. Now, I know Vegapunk definitely has a lot up his sleeve and is not an idiot. I think he knows the whole situation. I just don't know why they're not leaving. I don't, but we'll see. But it literally skips back and Sentomaru is already fucked. He already got his shit rocked. Lucci is up. Zones heal very quickly. They heal very quickly. They have the most durability out of any devil fruit in terms of actual endurance. Endurance. There's a difference between endurance and what's the other word? Endurance and there's another word, but they have a lot of endurance where they're able to power through as opposed to take damage. Durability versus endurance. Zoro has a lot of durability, but Zoan fruit users have a lot of endurance where they're able to just power through it all, which kind of Zoro has both, but durability is literally just to be able to take it all. Just take it, take it, take it, take it. Endurance is being able to kind of like, my body is able to adapt past this type of thing. So they're talking, and he's like, well, we can't let them get away. Like, they've already gotten to a point where they're kind of getting away. I like the CP0 side. I like that we're seeing, like, what CP0 is thinking, like, what their plans are, the balls that they have when they're just like, dude, we're in here. Like, we're going to be doing this shit. But Vegapunk's like, yeah, they're going to probably kill me. So, like, I'm going to go with you guys if that's cool. And, like, just about everybody's cool with it. Some people are a little speculative about it, but most people seem pretty cool with it. Honestly, Bonnie's been very disappointing and annoying. Honestly. All she's really talking about is killing Vegapunk and not fighting, not doing anything, being a damsel in distress, having everyone have to kind of like take care of her, which is like really goofy, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Let me see if I can... Not really. Well. So on the last page of this chapter, which like I said is a solid chapter, it literally shows all the Seraphim lined up with CP0. I'm just like, brother, like, we didn't think about that. I don't know if Vegapunk's fine with leaving them. It doesn't seem thought out in any manner of the word. It doesn't seem thought out because he released all these dudes to go fight. Now I still think that he has some left over. It just seems silly to me. Now, also at the same time, he is able to thwart the hierarchy and take them over, I guess, at any point where it becomes or starts to become a problem. But I mean, if I was CP0, I would just, yeah, immediately start to circle the island and make sure nobody escapes, which they are going to do. But the Seraphims are a problem. 4 of the Seraphims and CP0 is enough for the Straw Hats, in my opinion. Now, is it enough for the Straw Hats and Vegapunk? I don't think so. I don't think that, because I think Vegapunk is basically a Yonko by himself. Like, I'm not even kidding when I say that. Like, just his technology and everything that he has, it's not going to be easy to kill him. It's not going to be easy to kill him because he's already so many moves ahead. It's like trying to beat the best chess player in the world at chess. It's just not going to happen. And then the last few panels were very interesting, and I definitely want to read more into it. Sadly, we do have a break next week. Could be partially because of the new year, but it is a break. They just figured out they've partnered with Vegapunk himself. I thought Borsalino was maybe going to be coming alone, just like light zapping throughout the seas, which would be neat, but he's not doing that. He is on a couple of warships. The warships are on the way, and I saw different translations of this because the chapter came out last night. I remember reading it, and it was like, well, it should be an easy escape for them, but the actual translation, I think the better one is, on paper, that should make for a straightforward escape, but boy, are they in for a surprise if they think it'll be easy. Will proceed as planned. So they've already kind of planned what they're going to do, and they're saying get as many warships to Egghead as possible. So I think that they're basically going to try to trap them there and just kind of war of attrition the Straw Hat crew and take them down. I don't know if anyone gets captured. I don't know if they lose. I don't know how an admiral is going to face off against Luffy, especially Kizaru. I'm very interested. I'm very interested. But the Seraphims just kind of throw everything out of whack. So I don't know. I really don't know. I hope Zoro comes into play, and I think he's going to have to. I think he's going to have to make some crazy good plays. He might be the first one to take down a Seraphim. He might be someone to stop Borsalino for as long as he can. I don't know. But I just don't see the Straw Hat crew being able to escape on their ship in the sea with all these people chasing them. I don't see that happening. So we will see. I don't know the Marines' plan. It was a banger of a chapter, but Sentomaru is just such a disappointment. Such a disappointment. It's honestly upsetting, but the way Egghead is going and how amazing the trajectory of everything is going, I'm kind of cool with it. I'm like, all right, I guess everyone can't be cool at the end of the day. But I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, a Merry Kwanzaa, but that's it for me. I won't catch you next week, so also have a Happy New Year because there's going to be no chapter. But tell me what you think of this. This shit's going to be wild. Borsalino is in the frame. Very excited. Peace out, dudes.